all over the world. The Holy Spirit was available in any location. We weren't getting close to the time of Yeshua returning. So the idea of time and geography for most of the 2,000 years of the Ecclesia hasn't had much meaning. But now as we get closer to the second coming, it is having more meaning. Because the Holy Spirit can come at any place at any time. There is no time limitation. There is no geography limitation. But when Yeshua comes back, he comes back in a body, which means there is a specific time that he returns, and there is a specific place that he returns. So as we get closer to that, time and geography have more meaning. And this is a teaching that we could talk about for 2-3 hours. I'm trying to summarize it in 2 minutes. But the idea is that Jesus said in Acts 1:8, you will go out from Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, to the ends of the earth. You see, he's giving a time and geography vector going out. They went out from Jerusalem, and then he added the word, in Acts 9, he adds the word Galil. He says Judah, Galil, and then Samaria to the ends of the earth. And then they're going out. In the next few chapters, it starts to go to all different kinds of nations. And then there's a big turning point when you get to Acts 16, when the Holy Spirit instructs Paul to go westward into Europe and not eastward into Turkey and Asia Minor and into Asia. And that sets a pattern going around the world, generally in a westward direction. Now, the gospel was being preached all over the world at the same time. It's not like that's the only way, but there was a general wave going around the world, moving westward through the centuries. And I personally see that there was a turning point in the year 1973. And 1973 was when Jerusalem really came in the hands of the Jewish people. We always say 67. That was a 67 war, but really it was in contest for the next 6-7 years. It was really in 73 at the Yom Kippur War that the conquest was fulfilled, the reunification, depending what you think is politically correct. But at any point, also in the year 1973, YWAM, which was the largest charismatic world missions organization in the world, started their campus in Hawaii. Now, symbolically, Hawaii is the opposite of Jerusalem. Now, it's not the exact geographic opposite, but there are some of the Samoan Islands that are actually closer to the geographic. But in terms of, as I look at it as a pattern, that Hawaii is the opposite of Jerusalem, which goes to support my theory that Jerusalem was actually where the Garden of Eden was, so it just got popped through the other end of the world and ended up in Hawaii. But anyway, at that point, though, was a turning point that the gospel hit, in my view, 1973. It's not an exact science, but basic. At that point, the gospel hit the end of the world and began to turn back. And at that point, we see the huge numbers of people being saved in China and Korea, Indonesia, and they